Alright, so this is going to be part 2 for designing your own custom homepage banners. What kind of custom? It's still template driven. So yeah, so let's jump right back to where we were. So here is another example of a banner we made that potentially could be edited further. So opened up this PSD in Photoshop. Just want to break down the file structure again, or the layer structure. So we have at the top here is our text, our call to action for the banner, and this was constant pursuit challenge. Just kind of had the box around the text, and if we click the arrow to drop it down and show what's inside it, we have the text, which is still editable, and you can adjust it. This one's a little tricky because if you do the text small, then you're going to have to start readjusting a lot more. So I wouldn't really recommend this one unless you have a good understanding of how to actually edit these graphics and sort of do other things. So this isn't a perfect example. If the text actually fits perfectly, meaning it's like the same characters and stuff, then you could go ahead and probably work with this. But if it doesn't, then maybe we can make various sizes of this look that can be repurposed and stuff, or we can do a more complex, detailed tutorial on how to adjust this frame. But my suggestion is, as soon as you start going down that road, you start putting in too many choices and decisions that could alter how this will really look. So I would ignore it if you can't do it, but just know that this is also an option for what you can have for a banner. Then below here we have the same thing, the distressed mask, hiding some of what's under here, which is a black layer to really darken things up, and then the real photo layer. So this is how the image really looked when it was shot, and then we added in the black layer for just to darken things further and make that call to action pop really well. That's pretty much it. That's what we have on this one. So again, same thing. Drag and drop your image in and just put it above that image and delete this one, and then you should be working with a new look with just this type of layout. So alright, here's another one. Let's pull an image because this seems like an easy one to work with. Alright, let's check out what we have. Here's the original. Now I'm just going to be looking for something that obviously is going to be like a wider image. So like a landscape looking image, nothing that's portrait really, unless you think it could really work. Yeah, let's do this one. This one looks like it definitely will work. So we'll click, drag, enter mission control, get this one open, and let go of it on our on our canvas here, and it will put it directly in there. And then same thing again, hold shift, and this time I'll hold shift and option while grabbing a corner just dragging it out to the edge, making sure I'm covered on both sides, and then hit enter. And yeah, so let's do something like that. So what I'm doing is, as I'm dragging it, I'm also holding shift. And that's going to kind of keep it locked as you're dragging. It's not going to be like dragging to the left or to the right. It's just going to really lock it in on the same plane that you're pulling it from. So holding shift, dragging right to where I want it. That's good. And always make sure you're up here on this tool. Like if you're on another tool, it's going to be doing different things. But if you're just moving things around and readjusting the size, then that's the tool you're going to want to use. You may have this unchecked. If you do, it's kind of annoying, so make sure your Show Transform Controls is checked so you always can tell where the image is. And again, you can hit Command minus to zoom out and zoom in, and then like you can actually pull the right corner to see more of your canvas and surrounding edges. In this case, I didn't put a black layer on here, so I'm going to just delete this layer. Don't need this one. Let me show you how to create a new layer and fill it with black to darken this image, right? So I'll hit this symbol here at the bottom. It's the create new symbol. You could also do like a Command Shift N, but you know it's fairly simple. Just create a new layer. Drag that layer so it's just above your image layer. Go ahead and click the Paint Bucket tool, and then make sure by double-clicking your color that this box at the front is black. So just go ahead and drag that all the way to the left corner, hit OK. And if you're on caps lock, it'll look like that. If you get out of caps, it will look like this. And just verify that the opacity is set to 100, foreground, normal mode. All these things at the top are the same, and then we'll fill. So this fills the layer with 100% black. And now I'll hit the letter V, which will put me back to this move tool. You can just click it if you need to. And now I'll just start hitting, 1 through 5. So I'll hit 1, 2, 3. See the percentage of the opacity starts changing. So this is fine. 20 is good. I don't want to go too high with it. I just wanted that phrase to pop a little bit more. So this is a good way if you don't want to really change up the phrase, you like the way it is, you just want a fresh image. There you go. So like I was saying before, save this out ahead of time by hitting Command Shift S before you make your edits, so you don't get this far and then save over what you've already created. So you want to create new PSD files each time. So each one is going to be very unique. And then you'll do the same thing again, save for web, and save this out. Cool. So that's good. Let's say you didn't want this, you wanted a different phrase, and you wanted to just say 24, all caps, remember, 20. Just like a random promotion you're wanting to say. So we clicked, so just go over that again. I hit the text tool, I click on my layer, highlight it, make sure I'm in all caps, I'm not doing lowercase, not changing any of the sizes. Just have a new phrase that I think could fit and look good. Great. Alright, so the new phrase is in, but the lines are pretty short. So what I can do here is I can zoom in, and I hit Command plus to kind of zoom in, and then if I hold spacebar, this hand comes up, and as you click and drag, it just brings you around where you need to be. So again, I don't suggest you do this, but if you needed to increase this line, you could. So I'll just come over here to this shape, and you want to find the middle section. So right here you can see how it goes like kind of diagonal, and then it goes like straight left and right. That's what I want. So I'm going to click that once to kind of activate it, and then I'm going to hold shift and just drag, and you can see by holding shift it creates that pink line that sort of helps you to stay on the path. So I'll just bring it to here. I think that's a good distance. Once that's set, I'll hit enter. Now hold command and press the minus and click out of the layer. That one looks good. So really all I need to do is try and create that on the other side. So I'm gonna bring this in a little. I'm gonna delete this one, and now that I have this line at the distance I want it to be, now I want to get this on the other side. So a good way to do that is make sure you're on the layer, find the arrow tool, and then find the symbol right there. So the symbol that's the arrow with the cross that sort of says, hey, you can move this anywhere. So get to that point and then hold Option, Shift, and then just drag it. As soon as you get to the edge, just release it with the arrow, and then you can let go Shift and Option. And so what it did was it created a new layer with that same layer, and as you were shift dragging, it was duplicating it and moving it on the same plane. And so basically what you did was now you have it perfectly even on both sides, and the gap is the same distance because this phrase is perfectly centered with the entire thing. If this phrase was like this, then it wouldn't work, but it's like this, so it works. And it's centered, so you're good. So that's an option if you did want to change that up. I wouldn't start getting into this stuff. I wouldn't drag it all and start moving it. It's just gonna cause other decisions and issues for you. So that's part 2. I'll go over this some more in the next recording.